which was built on top of Semantic Kernel and Autogen frameworks actually. Okay, so today we will be seeing it out. What is this Microsoft Agent Framework? Why a lot of buzz was going around this framework, and what are the important terms we need to know before actually getting into or using this framework in your existing agent building framework actually. Like guess currently you guys have been read about semantic kernel and autogen frameworks actually, where people will be orchestrating the agentic workflows and creating multi-agent architectures based on it. These two famous framework for past 1 year actually. But now actually what Microsoft was tried actually means they have been wanted to reduce the gap actually between these two semantic kernel and Autogen, and they want to bring a consolidated framework actually which covers features of both this semantic kernel and Autogen framework into a single framework called Microsoft Agent Framework. And this Microsoft Agent Framework is currently in public preview, but in upcoming days it will be available for every developers to use this framework to create or orchestrate your agentic workflows actually without any flaws actually. Okay, and also actually this agentic framework actually Microsoft Agent Framework will be a production ready framework, and you guys doesn't want to worry about if you build an agent, what will happen in the production environment, or how you can propose it to a client. Like that, you no need to worry. It's already a production ready framework, so you can go ahead and you can use this framework in your the agents actually which are currently running your production under semantic kernel and Autogen actually. And also so that is about a glimpse of today's event day actually, this session actually which you guys are going to watch for next 45 minutes to 1 hour. And also I welcome most of I'm ready ready to address your questions actually during this sessions the progresses actually. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to put it in the chat box. So once I complete the demo and these slides actually, I will be addressing it one by one actually. Okay, so that's what I want to tell at the starting of this session. And okay, so about myself actually, if you see, I am Saravanan, as Kurag has given me a brief introduction about me. So that's about myself. That is Saravanan Ganesan. Saravanan Ganesan, having some around 11 plus years of experience in AI and IoT related areas, and I'm a Microsoft MEP as well. I'm currently working as an assistant consultant in IoT in these years as well actually. I also been already worked around some 70 plus projects in IoT and some 12 plus projects in AI actually, by architecting and developing the frameworks actually. Okay, so that's about myself, and we just go inside our slides actually. Okay, yeah. So you guys actually might have actually heard about this semantic kernel and this Autogen actually. I guess you guys are detailing away these two frameworks were open source framework actually. And again, if you see Microsoft Agent Framework, which is released by Microsoft recently, is also a modern open source framework actually. Okay, and as like Autogen and semantic kernel, it will be used to build, orchestrate, and deploy AI agents and multi-agents on workflows actually into your the production environment actually. Okay, so that's what actually. And then also, if you see, go over some last few years actually, we guys know developers has been experimenting with some AI agents in every imaginable form, and actually you guys know that the agents are not just chatbots or co-pilots actually. They are actually some autonomous the software components that can that can actually reason about goals, calls, all the tools and APIs, and it's also capable of collaborate with other agents and adapt to a dynamical environment actually. Okay. And also actually, if you see here, it's a retrieval. If it's better, it's a kind of a retrieval agent for research, or coding agent number in a dev workflow, or a compliance agents ensuring policy enforcement. The agents are becoming the next layer of your application logic. Actually, it's not a second word actually, because if we can't able to tell it's no actually, because nowadays actually agents are becoming a next layer of your application logic actually. And also, apart from this excitement, actually, if you guys see, actually, this start from prototype to production has always be having a lot of obstacles actually. and and also, if you see, local the development actually will be easier for you guys. But if you deploy the same to your cloud or somewhere, you guys might be struggled a lot during your production activity. So for uh, so to address this problem only, actually, if you see, Microsoft has been they have been an what to tell actually, some days back actually they have been introduced Semantic Kernel, which gave developers a stable SDK with connectors into enterprise systems, content moderation, and telemetry also. And also they also given Autogen, which was pioneered in Microsoft research. We opened the door actually to experiment to both multi-agent orchestration patterns, which inspire the community, which has both passionate users and developers actually. Okay, so also if you see, when you see what is the key objectives of this Microsoft Agents framework is actually it is to simply create and orchestrate AI-driven agents, and also it supports both cross-language development with Python and .NET, and also it also be very much observability, and it's also have a interactivity of middlewares and flexibility for real-world agent systems actually. Okay, so these have come up the key objectives of this Microsoft Agent framework. So also, if you see, what to tell, actually, it's been like it's an open source SDK, and it's also runtime designed to let developers to build, deploy, and manage sophisticated multi-agent systems with ease. It also unifies the enterprise foundations of semantic kernel with an innovation orchestration of Autogen. So teams no longer have to choose between experimentation and the production actually, like before. So now, if you want to do any R&Ds also, you can make use of this Microsoft Agent framework. Or if you want to create any production ready agents also, you can make use of this Microsoft Agent framework actually. Okay, so this is about the key objectives actually. And if you see, these are, if as I told, actually it's been merged in Microsoft in 2024 actually, and they have been doing a lot of R&Ds, and now at October 1st, 2025, they have been released it as a public preview. And it has been designed to unify and extend concepts from semantic kernel and Autogen, which I told, which combines both R&D and in production ready agents can be built using this same agentic framework, Microsoft Agent framework actually. So got out the core features actually of this Microsoft Agent framework is actually they supports a graph-based workflows for agent orchestration and supports multi-agent collaboration and planning. It also integrates with other tools, MCPs, APIs, human interloop interactions, and also they have open standards and interoperability. Like actually, it's been like they are compatible with the MCP, the Model Context Protocol also, and agent to agent and OpenAI ensure agents are portable and vendor neutral. And they also can be able to create some pipelines for research to production. And also it's been community driven extensibility absolutely, which has been having some modular design, pluggable memory, and declarative agent definitions. And they are enterprise ready agents actually, which have built-in observability, approval, security, and long-running durability. So these are some of the core features which we are observing it in our Microsoft Agent framework actually. So this is a comparing part actually. If you see here, just sorry. This is a comparing part actually. If you see here, actually, we have this graph tells you actually based upon this five core features like focus, interop, memory, orchestration, and enterprise readiness, with whichever actually for each framework actually then how it is been aligned and how it is been aligned with my Microsoft Agent framework. For semantic kernel, focuses on stable SDK with enterprise connectors, workflows, and observability. For Autogen, as we've seen already, actually in experimental multi-agent orchestration from research. And but if you see in Microsoft Agent, it is combination of both actually. Unified SDK combining innovation plus enterprise readiness as well actually. For in interoperability, it is having the plugins, connectors, and support for MCP A2A and OpenAI. You guys who have been working in semantic kernel, you might have observed these interoperability points. And in Autogen, actually, it is somewhat actually tool integration is supported, but it lacks standardized cost runtime protocols actually. But if in agentic framework, if you see, it has the built-in connectors, MCP plus A2A plus Open API as well, actually, which is a crucial part of the interoperability. And in memory, it has actually multi-vector store connectors and memory store abstraction actually. But for in Autogen, if you support for in-memory buffer store history plus external vector store memory options. But if you see in Microsoft, it's a little bit advanced actually. We have pluggable memory access across stores, the first party and third party, persistent and adaptive memory store with retrieval and hybrid approaches actually. In the way of orchestration, if you see, we have deterministic plus dynamic orchestration, but in Autogen, if you see dynamic LLM orchestration, but here we have actually for micro both are combined. Deterministic and dynamic orchestration is there actually for agent orchestration or flow orchestration actually. And then for enterprise readiness, you have telemetry, observability, and compliance hooks. And for Autogen, you have minimal. And for Microsoft Agent Framework, actually, you have it's been the both combined observability, approach, CACD, long running observability, hydration, etc. So if you see in this from this chart, actually it is clear that Microsoft Agent Framework is nothing but it's a combination of the features of both semantic kernel and Autogen. So making it as so that Microsoft giving the developers to create agentic workflows without any flaws, and they doesn't have no need to have any confusions actually like which framework to be chosen for creating the agentic workflows actually. Now it's clear. You guys can go ahead directly with Microsoft Agent Framework and create your multi-agent orchestration, multi-agent the workflows actually without any hassle actually. Okay. So I guess there are some queries, I guess, actually. No, it's not. Okay. So then we'll be going to the next slide. So what kind of technology stack actually this Microsoft this agent framework supports? Means it supports both Python and .NET C# as of now, and it also integrates with Azure Open AI, Open Telemetry, and Microsoft Fabric, and also it uses a graph-based architecture for flexible workflows. Actually, there is an amazing future here actually in this. Now, what it will actually this framework so that you can able to see a graph-based architecture where you can able to understand how your agent has been actually developed and how the flow has been happening between your agents to your LLMs and to your user prompts actually. So this can be visualized using this agentic framework, which will resolve all types of confusions among developers while developing an agent using this Microsoft agent framework actually. Okay. So now we are going to see about an architecture overview. This is about an architecture overview about Microsoft Agent Framework. Actually, if you see, I have a Microsoft Agent Framework, which is pluggable to my M365 Agents SDK as well. It is actually it has been communicable with Azure AI Foundry as well, and with my Copilot Studio as well, and to other external LLMs and databases, SQL using the MCPs. We are the MCPs also. It's been accepted. It can be easily connectable to this LLMs, and also it's been connectable to the other tools like Teams, Copilot, Messengers, etc. For communication purposes actually. So this is how my Microsoft Agents framework was framed, and it has been a pluggable everywhere actually, and you can able to use it without any hassle for a production ready agentic framework actually. Okay. So when talking about this architecture, so if you see here in this architecture, actually, it can actually we can see this actually that my Microsoft Agent Framework further advanced its integrations across Microsoft Agent development stack, including the integration with Microsoft 365 Agents SDK, and also a shared runtime with Azure AI Foundry and the agent service. The Microsoft 365 Agents SDK is which is a pro code toolkit that lets developers build full stack multi-channel agents and publish them across M365 Copilot, Teams, web, and other services with a deep interoperability into Copilot Studio's low-code connectors and Microsoft 365 Copilot custom agents. By converging this SDK with Microsoft Agent Framework, and we are actually aligning it with the shared runtime used in the Foundry Agent service, actually. Okay, and while doing this, actually, the developers will gain one unified set of abstractions to create, run, scale, and publish agents, which means you can prototype locally, debug with consistent telemetry, and then seamlessly move into scaled hosting with enterprise-grade observability, compliance, and security, all without rewriting your agents, and then publish them into any communication channels of choice where you want to surface your agents, actually. So that is a deep explanation about this architecture of overview of the Microsoft Agent Framework and how it has been pluggable to other SDKs and tools and flows and other Azure services, etc. Actually, okay. So then actually we are going to speak about what are the four pillars of this engagement framework? If you see, actually, there are open standards and interoperability. What does the open standards and interoperability means? Actually, it is easily integratable with your MCP, agent to agent, open API, and cloud agnostic runtime. And also, actually, the latest update, actually, which they have given for this Microsoft agent framework is they can streamline the experience. They can be integratable to DS Code AI toolkit, actually, and so which can be enabling the developers to locally create, run, and visualize multi-agent workflows. Actually, these enhancements simply the inner dev loop, making it easier to build, debug, and iterate on multi-agent systems within the familiar of your DS Code environment, and also pipeline for research, actually, which supports your sequential orchestration, concurrent orchestration, group chat orchestration, handoff orchestration, and magnetic the orchestration as well, actually. Okay, and next is kind of the extensibility by design and community driven. So they have pluggable memory modules connected to in enterprise systems. They have declarative agents and they have community innovation as well. And apart from this, these three pillars, you guys can see about it is ready for production, actually, which I have been already shown in this thing. Actually, just ready for the enterprise readiness part, actually. Okay. So and actually, if you see, this is how in the for the Titan SDK, actually, you need to install it via pip install agent framework because it's not still in vendor availability. It is in public preview only, and it also allows the rapid prototyping of agent workflows, and it also seamless integration with Python LLM APIs as well, actually. When it comes to .NET SDK, actually, which will see it in our demo, actually, what kind of packages we have, and like this only we need to add this agent package to it, and it can be scalable for an enterprise level Azure services as well, actually. So these two explains till now. Actually, we have been seeing the architecture part, the core concepts, what are the futures of my Microsoft Agent Framework, why Microsoft released this, what is the purpose of it, and how the SDKs are working together. Working, actually. So how to install these packages in this for this Python and .NET SDKs. Actually, we have been seeing it till that these kind of slides, and now actually we'll see about the graph-based workflow. What is this graph-based workflow means? Actually, it connects agents and also deterministic functions and workflows, and suppose streaming, checkpointing, and time travel debugging, actually. So if you have any workflows, actually, okay, inside your, for example, if you want to call any Azure functions to retrieve some data from it by your agent, like that, actually. So this kind of workflows are what is it, streamlined here actually, and it is really easy for your agent to allocate those flows in the manner of the graph, and they can also support the streamlining, checkpoint, and time travel debugging as well actually. Okay, and so observability and telemetry means actually it can be integrated, as I told, integrated with open telemetry for monitoring and tracing, and suppose custom metrics of the production. So if you want to get any metrics of your production systems, actually in terms of LLMs, means actually it's been really helpful. This framework really helpful for you guys to get those metrics done. How much tokens has been sent, it's a prompt which you have been sent is correct or not. Actually, it's been properly framed on. These kind of things, metrics can be collected from your production systems by using this the Microsoft Agent framework. Actually, and you guys know I already told it that it has been a collaborated with multi-agents used for creating multi-agent systems actually, where agents can reason, plan, and interact autonomously, and it also supports task delegation coordination among the agents actually. Okay, in interoperability, as I told, it can be it's a cross platform and works with Azure Open AI, local LLMs, and third-party APIs. And the the place where your security falls, validation and logging of errors, and they have very good middleware framework framed in this the Microsoft Agent framework, where you can able to log the layers, each layers of your agent, and validate it, and you can also add security guardrails, and you can also handle the request response handling between these middlewares. Everything actually can be possible in this Microsoft Agent framework, which is not possible in your previous things in Autogen or Semantic Kernel actually. And then if you see deployment and scaling has been again actually it's been coming into like if you want to deploy and produce like a continuous integration and continuous deployment, if you want to do and showcase it to your client for creating any agents, this is one of the best example you can do. The framework you guys can use and do the same actually. Again, security and compliance. If you are using any third-party servers into your system agents, the developers are responsible for it. And they also, this Microsoft Agent Framework also have a built-in guidelines for data protection and privacy actually. Okay, so since it's created by Microsoft, the integration inside your Azure ecosystem will be really easy, and it will be seamless connection might happen in your Azure Open AI, cognitive services, and Fabric, and it's also been easily integrated to your corporate extensions and enterprise AI applications as well. So, what kind of sample use cases actually you can create using this this Microsoft Agents framework was actually it's like you can build your enterprise level copilots for some business processing and data analysis and automation, AI assistance, and multi-agent research systems, which can be done autonomous multi-agent research systems. So this kind of some sample use cases you can be used. It can be used to build, and also you can also use this Microsoft Agent framework for doing the day-to-day activities or for calculating your expenses, everything like that actually. Okay, so we can do it with the lot of use cases can be and added in this space actually, while this usage of this Microsoft Agent framework appears to the world actually. So comparison with semantic kernel, actually this has been an evolution of semantic kernel framework only actually. If you see the most of the things which are there in semantic kernel will be there in Microsoft Agent framework, but some things which are not there in semantic kernel, like doing R&D of your agent orchestration part actually will be so it will be taken from Autogen, and it will be integrated with Microsoft Agent framework, and then it has been actually considered as an evolution of your semantic kernel framework actually. Okay. Whatever the future roadmap means, actually, they will be Microsoft is planning to have a visual workflow designer and improved debugging tools, and also they have been having trying to have an enhanced support for hybrid agent environments as well actually. So coming to conclusion, as I told, actually, it's not this Microsoft Agent framework is not a replacement for a semantic kernel or Autogen, but actually it's been a next gen framework which is developed from Semantic Kernel and Autogen to build the intelligent orchestrated agents, and also it bridges the gap between in the upcoming days. I hope actually it will be more useful. This framework gives more flexibility to the developers to bridge the gap between your LLMs, automation, and enterprise integrations actually. Okay, so that's it about the slides actually, whichever have actually related to the Microsoft agent framework. Now we will be jumping into a demo. I have a simple demo actually, which explains how to install this Microsoft agent framework in your system, and how that agent actually replies to your prompts, and also what are the methods and functions which have been used inside that program. I will be showcasing you and explaining you the same actually. Okay, so let's go back to our code. Till now, if you guys have any doubts in your PPT in this the topic which I taught in the slides, please be raised to me so that I'm happy to address it, and I can go back to demo. Actually, I showcase a beautiful demo of how you can plan your glossary by ease actually. It is a day-to-day use case which I want to showcase you guys actually, which was built using Microsoft Agent Framework. Okay, you guys have any doubt till now? Hello? No? Okay, I'm going back to the demo. The screen is visible, guys? The screen is visible? I hope it is visible. Okay, so this is a simple glossary agent application which I have been built using the Microsoft Agents AI and in Azure Open AI actually. Okay, so in this actually what it will be doing, it means actually what's the purpose of this glossary agent is actually it will be telling us actually like how to plan your day-to-day glossary buyings actually. Okay, how to minimize your spendings on groceries, whichever only required you need to buy. Like that, actually, it will be giving us the suggestions actually based upon your prompts related to your grocery agents actually. Okay, so in this actually, if you see before going into this, I'll be wants to clear that actually it's a .NET application, .NET Core application, which has been running on 8.0 framework, .NET Core 8.0 framework, which is developed using a C# programming language. Okay, so in this actually, if you see for this application, I have been added a Azure OpenAI package, Azure identity package, and also I included this Microsoft Azure, the Microsoft agent framework package as well for OpenAI actually. Okay, so this is about what are the package we have been used in this as a reference to this application. Then actually I'm going back to my program and I will be explaining you that actually these are the packages we are going to use in this application. And here actually we have been needing to declare the your Azure OpenAI API, AI endpoint, Azure OpenAI API key, Azure OpenAI deployment like that actually. Okay, so I'll be showcasing you after explaining the code and how to do this as an environment variable. I want to set this environment variable and then this application as well actually. Okay, and then if you see here, it's you need to give it's a part of console thing actually. I haven't kept this one actually, like how my console application should look like, what's my foreground color, and then these things actually. Okay, so if any error comes, that also will be logged here actually. Okay, so consider the Glossary Spending Advisor, the name of the thing I have been given here actually. And then here if you see, this is a place where the OpenAI the chat completion comes here actually. I have been using a method called class called Azure OpenAI client, and for this object has been created, and here actually it will be make use of this endpoint and the API key and deployment name from this in this whichever we have been going to define it as an environment variable actually, and it will be help us this object will be helping us to actually based upon the name will be creating the LLMs actually deep prompts for us actually. And also we are actually defining some instructions here, agent instructions. Okay, so you are a local practical should estimate a reasonable Monday. So this is instruction I given to my AI agent in the it's stored in the object called advisor. So then I'm composing the user ask with minimal structure for predictable output actually, category breakdown, estimated monthly. So like that actually I have been created some things. Okay, and then the prompt actually, if you see here actually the prompt also has been labeled in that way actually. So whichever prompt I give will be come here first, and then it will be giving it as a label plus prompt, and we can get the answers from an LLMs accordingly actually based upon your the input prompts whichever you give actually. So this is about your programming code and how you are actually implementing my Microsoft Agents.ai packages netted here and Microsoft Agents in the OpenAI netted also here actually. Okay, so now I'm going to run this one by creating some. So before doing this, to get this OpenAI endpoint, OpenAI API, OpenAI deployment name, actually, we need to create this in our Azure AI Foundry first of all, actually. So I need to go to my Azure AI Foundry. So I need to validate my things. So actually, I already have Azure AI Foundry here. So I'll be taking up the endpoint and OpenAI key from here actually. Here actually, if I go in the deployment part, um, this is my day from Azure OpenAI endpoint. Okay, and then actually this is my API key, and this is the name of my wait 1 minute, I'll be showcasing you entire thing. Okay. This is a model which got deployed now actually. Okay, so I will be deploying one more model actually called GPT-4 actually for explanation, so that you guys can be really can know how to deploy a model in your Azure AI Foundry. Go for GPT 4.1 mini actually. Apply my name and giving a GPT 4.1 mini. Okay. Deploy. Okay, now it has been deployed actually. Okay, so we have our version and Azure endpoints and everything here itself actually. If you see here key and metrics, GPT name, and then actually everything was here only actually. Okay, so now I'm going to integrate these parameters here. Here actually the endpoint is actually target URI. So I'm actually replacing this value with those values. Sorry. This is the endpoint. Sorry, actually, Azure endpoint is displayed. Sorry, the wrong value there. Okay, now actually this is set, and then our deployment name. We have a deployment name here actually. This is our deployment name. This is deployment name, and now we are going to set up our open API key actually. It will be taken from. So once these are set, I'm going to build my application using .NET Build actually. So it will done actually without any errors, and it will not be showcase any warnings as well. Now I will be running this application. .NET Run. The console window will open, or else here itself it will be there. So it will be asking actually, if you see this terminal, showcase by expanding it. Okay. Now, if you see here, my Glossary Spending Advisor agent was invoked actually. It's asking for how much number of people was there in your house actually. I will just give 4. Okay, and then city location I can give Chennai. Okay, and directory preference actually I mixed. Can I give it for mixed? Okay, optional monthly grocery budget target I give it as 2,000. For example, I give it as 5,000. So actually, if you it will give a detailed plan for us in some time actually. Okay, so it will give us actually, if you see here, estimated monthly total 4,500 to 500. Reasoning Chennai has moderate food prices. A family of 4 mixed with diet can final with mindful shopping. So it will break down how much staples I need to buy, produce, and how much cost it will be, and how much fruits I need to buy, how much dairy eggs I need to buy, proteins and everything. And also it's give some top sound saying suggestions like whichever way if I if I follow this suggestion and say where I can save, and actually, for example, from there I need to buy these vegetables, which place it will be cheaper price in Chennai. You like that actually. So it will give us suggested monthly grocery plan for us actually. So that's how actually I want to convey you guys using this by Microsoft Agent Framework. Actually, you can create many type of applications or sorry agents and multi-agent flow also it become in next actually upcoming series. Actually, I'm going to showcase actually how the workflow has been formed in Microsoft can be created using Microsoft Agent Framework, and how it can be integrated to your and how it can be sorry visible it in your we can see it using your inside your this DS code bay toolkit actually. So that will be our next month. We have been planning. Young myself and Parag will be planning for the same to give you more insights about this Microsoft Agents framework, which has been created by Microsoft to make the life of developers very easy, to make it as a production ready, to create production ready multi agents and agent orchestration as well actually. Okay, so thank you so much for your time, and thank you Katwada for giving me this amazing opportunity to share these insights with the people. And also I'm really happy to be part of this community as an active speaker. And I really thanks to Kurag for giving me this opportunity as well actually. Thank you everyone for joining me in this evening. And if you guys have any doubt now, you can ask me in the chat actually. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, Saravanan. I think we can give them 2 minutes to ask questions if there
Yeah,
are any
definitely.
questions, since they cannot directly ask. it would be best to give them some time if they have any questions.
Yes, yes, sure.
If you guys have questions, this is your time to bring it up. Or if anything comes up after the session, you can join the community to ask them directly in the community.
There is one
We
question I got, Josh Sibel actually. Can I reply it? Josh, actually, there won't be any discounts when using Azure AI Foundry. It will be considered as a part of your KSU subscription only, actually. And based upon your tokens, how much tokens you have been utilized and which model you have been utilizing, it will be actually calculated as a pricing for you at the end of your billing cycle, actually. Okay. Yeah, Josh, it is clear for you now?
okay, there is no confirmation from him. Okay. There is another question.
There is no any word called Cloud Foundry. Azure AI Foundry is the only service we have actually in Tensor. There is no anything called Cloud Foundry. Sorry. No, actually, it's a kind of subscription, actually, Thomas. Yeah. Tom, it's a kind of subscription. So based upon your subscription, how much tokens you have been utilizing or which model you have been utilizing, actually, based on that, actually, your the deals will be generated for Azure AI Foundry at the end of your billing cycle. No disadvantages, yeah, as of now. It's a very good framework actually. See, actually, the Microsoft Agent framework is free of cost. It's open source. You can integrate into your code and you can work on it actually. But Azure AI Foundry, which is a cloud-based uh, service of Azure actually, there if you want to deploy any models and utilize that models endpoint in your code actually for LLM accessibility, for that pricing will be there actually. Okay, for that alone pricing will be there, which will be yeah, priced under your regular billing cycles, whichever comes on your monthly basis. If you are only pay as you go subscription.
All right, I think that's all the questions. If there is any question that comes up after this, time, feel free to reach out to Saravanan or join the community to ask them directly there. I have shared the certificate link in the chat box to get the certificate. We'll be publishing it or sending it out after a couple of hours. And yeah, I hope to see you in the community, and the recording of the today's session will be shortly uploaded to our YouTube channel. Thank you everybody for joining, and thank you Sharman for spending your time and sharing your knowledge. Really appreciate that.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, Suraj and that was for the opportunity. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a great weekend.